now what I want to do is just have people in this group share a little bit, just a piece of what got them so excited about women in religion. And Rosemary, you have some anecdotes there and some little articles that you wanted to just tell people about.
You want to talk about what you want to share?
Do a little story because the road trying to implement, which has not been successful yet, is a very important part of our continuing to work with the women in the denomination. So I'm full of stories, and yesterday someone, I don't know who it was, came up behind me and planted a big kiss on my cheek and said, "Do you remember this story about the pea in Harvard?"
P at Harvard Yard, as in P-E-E. At Harvard Yard.
What I want to read the stories to show you that it was roses trying to make change in the denomination. In fact, the reputation of this group was really out there in front, but they also were cowering, and we had to take butts.
What Rosemary's saying is that it wasn't a bed of roses, and they did a lot of different things, and sometimes they had to kick some butt, is what she was saying. And so basically, I think what I remember the story to be, and I don't know, you probably know the story better than I do about the pea in. Well, you better go ahead.
No, I think you should.
Okay, well, I don't know the story too well, but all I know is that a number of them decided that there were no bathrooms at Harvard for women. They didn't decide that, they found that out. And so they decided to have a pee-in in the Harvard Yard, which got quite a bit of press. Because you have to remember that Rosemary was employed by the UUA. And another woman doing it, I think, was married to a minister, was she not? Is it Ramona Barth? Yeah, so these were women that were making statements that they wanted the institution of which they were a part to change. And that was very significant. So
Harvard, was just becoming open to women.
yeah, this was before, I think, was it?
What year was this?
What year was
It
that?
was in the early 70s, 60s, 70s, it was early. Yeah.
So Harvard was just and only.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Radcliffe was a women's school, but they had distinct separation. And I think the Radcliffe women might have received Harvard degrees, but they didn't mix classes, I don't think, too much. Maybe they had some visiting classes. But the reception of women wasn't that keen, and so the bathroom incident was supposed to bring...
I think it occurred around the theological school.
Oh, was it?
Because there were no women's bathrooms in the theological school, because that was all for men.
Okay, there you go. I knew
So
somebody
I
had
have
to
to ask another question. So did this happen all day long, or was this just?
No, I don't know. You can check this out. Okay, so that is the story that's kind of one of the stories that Rosemary was sharing. Okay. No, I think she might have one more. You have another story to tell?
I am wired up for the 28th century. So, excuse me if I haven't heard what's going on before and I repeat it. I'm sorry. That's what happens to older people. They repeat things. And anyway, have you had the pee-in?
Yes.
Talked about that.
Did you dealt with that with Ramona?
Yes.
Who really was my first teacher in being outrageous. She really gave me the courage and the know-how to say, hey, I'm here, and I need to be treated like I'm a person here. But anyway, they got, after the pee-in, Ramona led, they got their toilet. And it was because in the papers. Well, we have the same thing today in the wonderful women who are running in a political office and they get to Washington and Congress, etc. And guess what? The women found out that there was not a toilet for women set up as such. After all these years, 50 years, they had to search out and find the elevator to take them to another floor, and before they could pee.
Well, it's quite a symbol, I must say. But the larger picture here is that we've come a long way, and we still have a long way to go. And I think that's part of what we wanted to convey today, that it's about these core values of looking at the myths, and that's why the theological school was such a target, because the basic religious myths are so prejudicial in the monotheistic traditions as far as women are concerned. And so a lot of what our other panelists here have addressed is what are those myths, and what are we doing to change them? Do we have new myths? What's happening?